Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good. Do we have anybody from the crowd that has anything they want to say tonight? Okay. APC, you got anything?
Yeah, I brought myself Marcellus. Yeah, we met last Wednesday. They have completed the new UDOs, Unified Development Ordinances.
Yes.
It's, a lot of us read, well, we all read through it, parts of it. It's very, everything's in layman's terms. I mean, it's written so everybody can read it really well and understand it. No offense to Amy, it's not written in lawyerese. But we're wanting to expedite passing this because I know you're wanting to join the Boone County APC and not discuss this right now and go ahead and let Marcellus go, but what's that going to be for us, the Thorntown APC? Are we done? Are we history? Or are we still part? Or what happens to what we do?
Well, what I'd like to see is if we were working with Lebanon, that if there's something that we are involved in with them and they send something to us, I'd like to see it go to you guys too.
Okay.
And continue on doing what you're doing.
Okay, and that's, yeah, we kind of discussed the same thing along the same lines, or if we had something we wanted to do, you know, you guys with us and we go through our stuff and then we take it to the county, and I guess we're gonna have somebody sitting on that APC, the county APC.
Right, Bruce is.
Okay. Yeah, because we would like to stay together and still continue.
Yeah, we'd like to have your input from the town since you live here.
Yeah. The actual APC would be defunct.
Dissolved.
Dissolved.
Yeah.
But then an advisory APC committee is what we were talking about.
So you wouldn't be a plan commission under the statutes, under
Right.
the advisory planning law anymore, so you wouldn't have to hold hearings and whatnot.
Right.
But, so that would be dissolved because you're no longer going to be following that set of statutes. You'll be adopting a new set of statutes to join the area plan commission. So then you'll be reappointed, the council will reappoint whoever, wants to be on it, whoever they want to an advisory board.
And are there a set of statutes for us for that already in existence?
No, that's kind of an informal thing. So that's just sort of something that they'll establish, and you guys will continue to do what you do without having to do the notices and the public hearing. But things will run through you, but then you'll serve in just an advisory capacity to take things to the county. But the county plan commission, they'll be the ones that are holding the hearing and doing the notices and, making the official recommendations. So they'll be the official board, the area planning commission, but you'll be just kind of an informal advisory board.
Okay. All right.
That makes sense.
Now I'm
Yep.
going to turn it over to Marcellus.
So to continue kind of what we talked about at the last meeting was we sketched out a plan for how we want to approach adoption of the new Unified Development Ordinances. So what we discussed was taking the currently scheduled January 12th Thorntown APC meeting as an opportunity to have a public information session about the ordinance, where I'll give a presentation about some of the major changes, give people a chance to ask some questions. And then we're trying to organize a special meeting for January 26th to try and get a recommendation if we don't, if the new APC ordinance can be made effective later, then we can get that recommendation before dissolving the body and sort of avoid any complications that transferring that recommendation power to the Boone APC might introduce. And then so that would bring the ordinance to this body in February.
The way that the
February 2nd,
February 2nd
is the first meeting.
council meeting. The way that the ordinance is currently drafted, I think you had a first reading of it at your last meeting to join the Boone County APC. We had it just in there as a placeholder that it would be effective January 1st, but Marcellus is recommending you push that date out a month, make it effective February 1st, to give the town's APC enough time to finalize this process and fully,
Right.
get through the UDO since they've gotten this far with it.
Okay.
So would we want to make it effective February 1st or wait till after? Or we could vote on it. We could adopt the ordinances and then make the county effective February 2nd as well. Or
February
So it was
1st.
The first
yeah.
in our meeting though, is it?
2nd, February 2nd. Make it effective on the 2nd or the 3rd.
That would be fine.
Okay.
And the ordinance isn't in front of you tonight, but I think that you'll have a special public meeting here before the end of the year to address some things. So you could put the ordinance on your agenda for that meeting for a second read. And then you could adopt it with that amended effective date of February 3rd, if that's what you want.
We'll make a motion for that.
I don't think we need to.
I don't think you really need to.
We don't
I mean,
Okay.
Yep.
That sounds like a good idea. If that comes for us, the first meeting in February,
All right.
vote on it.
Okay. Park board.
Do you guys have a copy of the questions I have from Ally? Was she able to get that to you? I noticed there was no agenda tonight. So
Yeah.
She must be sick. Mainly because my first question is regarding boundary lines. And I have a picture in that, which would be helpful. If you guys can't pull it up, that's fine. We just have some projects for next year. We're planning our events and whatnot for next year. One of the projects being the South Trail and kind of renovating it or updating it. On the Boone County GIS, it shows the property lines as being one thing, but then if you clicked on it and zoomed in, it showed that some of the crabapple trees there, the porta potty, some of the gravel parking that's right by the recycling is our property. So I wanted that confirmed before we moved on with planning anything. Mainly it would be replacing the outhouse that's there and painting there's like a little wooden shed around it and cutting down the crabapple trees and putting in native species there. So I want to make sure that it is actually on our property and not the Morgan storage units. I don't know if you guys would be able to clarify that at all or no?
That I don't know. We're gonna have to check on that.
Yeah, okay.
Say it runs right through your backyard, dude.
I would say your backyard, nearby there. Okay, yeah, so that's one of our plans is we'd like to just beautify the South Trail a little bit. I don't know if that gravel parking is, are people allowed to park there for the trail? I've gotten questions on that. or if that's technically the recycling center area, or if it's that company who, who's down there, that's their lot. I don't know if you guys know that at all.
No, I don't know who belongs to that, but on the east side of the, Front Street there belongs to Beasley's,
Yeah,
but I don't know how far over, if he
no,
comes
not
clear to
that
the
far
street.
over. Yeah, because the recycling bin is not on our property, or it's not in that gray area that I'm talking about. Yeah, so there's just a weird gray area where it might be ours, it might not be, and there's not an exact answer. That's why I was hoping you guys would have it, but if not you guys, do you know who to contact for that?
They would need something more set in stone. I can go in and talk to Terry in the plat office and see if we can get a better map.
Okay,
Surveyor.
Well, there was, at one time, a few years ago, they had a garden out there close to that outhouse,
yeah, we have that there, and so that's also kind of in that gray area.
but we don't know, right, we don't know who that belongs to.
Yeah, I wanna make sure I know the exact line, so I'm not cutting down. I'm pretty sure those crabapple trees in the outhouse are on our property. Angie, you said that we own the outhouse, but definitely wanna make sure I have approval and people know what's going on before I start rubbing people the wrong way.
We'll check on that.
Okay, thank you. The other thing I have on there was 4th of July. We are interested in hosting a town event, and let me know what approval I would exactly need for that. The event right now is looking like a town potluck, a town grill out at the Lions Park, hoping to get KFP involved and maybe some of the other organizations to do like a hot dog grill out, and then just kind of maybe a town pitch-in. Again, I don't know if like the town government can sponsor a town pitch-in. I don't know anything about that, so maybe you can answer that if we are allowed to feed people. And then doing the decorations, we're hoping to get the History Museum is going to be involved, and they're going to lay out like those who've done military service and have a whole booth. Yeah, so if that's something you guys are okay with, if you can let me know what the exact approval is needed for that, so we can move forward with that. We were thinking of doing just a subcommittee within the park board so that other people from the town can join to just help plan that, if that sounds good.
They haven't done, I don't really think the park board has done anything in the past when the last couple of years, they've had
Yeah,
something down at the park.
yeah, we're interested in having it a little more local so anybody can walk to it. It's a little closer to town.
Right.
But since it's the 240th or 250th, we want it to be somewhat bigger.
And it's on town property.
Yeah.
I think I can talk to you. We'll just have to make sure whatever activities you do are covered, by the town's insurance policy, that, there's nothing outside of that we need to.
And then, I don't know, are fireworks allowed? What would be the policy on fireworks?
That might be something we need to check
Okay,
on for,
we'll do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't know if people want
With
that or not. We could put
insurance,
it to a town vote or something. People want fireworks in town. And then, do you guys, I forgot my other two questions. I know there's two more on there.
Park maintenance.
Yes, okay, since Ally told me that the building inspector / maintenance is not gonna be, it's gonna be through APC, right? Is that correct? Like, we're not looking to hire our own town building inspector anymore. Who
Right,
Historically has helped with park maintenance.
right.
We have time since the park's closed and there's no maintenance yet, but we don't know what to do about maintenance. We don't really have the budget to hire somebody. I don't want to plug Earl all the time with our maintenance issues, but he's been really great at helping so far this fall. If there's something we can work out an agreement either with utilities or with someone else so I know who to contact when a spring is broken or something like that, 'cause it's not really my area. I don't know how to do that. So, yeah, if you guys could think on it, maybe come up with, because I don't have any ideas for what to do about that.
Right. Speaking of which, do you know if the bathrooms and the concession buildings and stuff got winterized?
Yes, yeah. we took care of that. Matt McDonald said he got, I believe that they did the specific baseball concessions, and then we took care of the park bathrooms. Yeah.
Okay.
That's done. We should be good.
Okay.
And then what was my last question?
With the new homes being built, is there a need for a new park?
Yes.
There's supposed to be a small park out there.
Okay. Is
Uh,
it wouldn't be under park board? No.
I don't know whether,
HOA.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but did they talk at one time about when they're finally done turning it over to the
Transferring it
town?
over?
Their plan is typically to turn them over to the town
Yeah.
once they're finished.
Right.
So it would be, whether they'll have equipment in there or not, they haven't quite said. But that's typically how they handle those.
And you're collecting a park impact fee, that,
yes,
so you have to add amenities with that fee. So, that would kind of go toward that plan of adding some park amenities.
Is there like a restriction on how to use it? Because obviously you're saying for park, but it doesn't matter
Yeah.
which park it would be used for. Is it just,
The park impact fees?
yeah?
I mean, there is a restriction on using those for parks and part of the plan that was developed. So we would just have to correlate, the plan to whatever the intentions are, whatever the goal is to see, make sure it would fit.
necessarily have to be used.
At that park?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good. I would
Yeah.
hope not, if it's
No.
a new park.
No.
Okay, so, but there shouldn't be a need.
well, the other
Unless we
thing,
build something in town for additional.
the other thing that got started, and we don't know, what Crean brought up, that based on the size of the town and putting 163 homes in, I don't know if we got enough parks or not. I hope we do, but there's some place that shows how much area we have to have.
Mhm. That's the plan for the park impact fee. That would be where it would live.
Yeah, but who
Definitely.
does that?
It's already done. It's already been completed. You already contracted with somebody to do that plan for you a couple years ago when you first established your park impact fee.
But do we know if we need more area for a park than what we already have?
Yeah. Well, you probably
Yeah,
have,
That is my question. 'Cause,
Yeah.
We would have to look in town.
You'd have to look at the plan, but I think we added the Lions Club after
mhm.
Yeah,
all
it
that.
was
So
after
that went towards adding to our parks.
Right.
We'll work on that one.
Okay, all right, well, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Fire department.
Hopefully you got a report I sent Ally, but we're up to around 518. We've had 5 since I wrote this, 523 some runs for the year. Still gonna finish strong. Some quick notes, we did have a ice water rescue training on Saturday before the weather got too bad. It was a good event for us. A lot of new members were able to experience that. We do that out at Trophy Club. We partner with Center Township. We meet in the middle. We do a quick training out there. And then also our fire academy starting first of the year. We have 4 new members that will do fire 1 and 2 training. And we've also extended it to other departments in the area. So I think there's about 6 to 8 other members from various departments in our local area that will come and train with us as well. So we use in our facility Thursday nights, and then go into the training tower some Saturdays. Do that training, so there'll be more activity going on at the station. Of the new request, same teacher spending on there.
Okay. That it? Police department. Okay.
Frank, which vehicle were you getting rid of?
We're getting rid of the Charger and the Explorer. Both of them are brother.
Did we did one of the surplus for one of
Yeah,
them.
we
didn't
should done on both. They're both out of service. We're just getting in the process of getting them stripped.
Okay. I was thinking we only did a surplus thing for one of them. And I don't remember.
I don't know.
I thought
I
it
can
was for the
check.
Charger, wasn't it?
Should have been for both.
Yeah, I think thought we did both at 2 different times, but I can check.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only remember doing the one. That's why I asked.
Should have been for both.
stormwater.
Nothing.
Okay, utility part. You don't have a last speech?
What kind of speech you want? I think we left it, I think it's in good shape. Financially, we're in pretty good shape. We've got good people on board. Earl's doing a great job. I'm not too worried about what happens next.
Anybody in mind for a replacement?
I think they have somebody, I'm not sure who it is, but I would think, by your next meeting, they'll be ready to bring somebody in here unless he decides he doesn't want to do it. But I wasn't at the last meeting, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I know he was there to see what was going on, kind of get a feel for it. He had some interest in it. After he left, I don't know if he still had the interest or not, but. I think they have somebody.
Earl?
Tree trimming is on the back burner now because of the weather, but Mint City still is in town doing that tree trimming. If you've seen them in town and or seen any of their work, they're doing very extensive work, which we needed. They did a good job, but they will be back, so they're not finished. The weather, I want to say, killed our asphalt patching. I want to say that the plants will not reopen after this weather we've had. Now, NDOT was pestering us about the spots here on 47 in front of Stukey's and in front of the old Smith building. And I was able to get Young and Sons to come up and patch those. So if you notice, those are done. So they did go out of their way to take care of us on that, which I'm pleased about. If they're not able to get us this year, they assured me we would be at the top of the list first thing spring as soon as they come right back out. So everything will stand, including their bid that we've accepted and already signed. On a similar note, but something a little separate, I will say this: we've had, I want to say, 2 opportunities for Venus to come out and do snow removal. Those guys do a great job. The snow removed from the streets, I think, has been everything we needed and a little bit more. So they've done a good work for us. Yeah, that's all I have.
Are we using our new truck?
Not to do snow removal. Not yet. Trying to keep as pristine as possible, man.
Well, one of the things we talked about, we're supposed to be doing alleys with it.
Well, I mean, to tell you the truth, at this point in time, we don't have the manpower to do alleys. With us having to clear out Main Street, our own parking lot, the lane around the pond, the lane back to the water plant, all our lift stations, we haven't had the opportunity to do. Now, we can start working on it. I have no problem sending the guys up and down the alleys. We do that. Absolutely no problem. It's gonna have to be kind of a down the list sort of thing, unless you deem it being something we should probably pop at the top. But let me tell you, you come back from the weather we have and you've got a couple snowflakes out and you've got some of the line come off the building, you tell me which is more important. It's really, and what I mean by that is I'm gonna get the phone calls about the snowflakes before I get a call about an alley not being plowed. But if you guys want us to divert our attention somewhere else, we'll definitely do it.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Wednesday and Thursday will be gone anyway, probably.
Yeah.
I know, that's where you run into. You spend a couple days doing it, and by the time you're done, it's melting anyway.
Okay. Is that it, Earl?
Yeah.
Jeff? You got anything?
No, the only thing I'll say, we talked about the APC a little bit. I just wanted to, I've been told that they've made an offer and it's been accepted for a new director to start on January 5th. And I've requested that as soon as possible, I get to meet with that person. So as soon as I get to meet with them, I'll give you another report.
Okay. No court treasurer tonight. So, Mike?
So good evening, council and public. Mike Kleinpeter, Kleinpeter Consulting Group. We were the grant administration firm that wrote the grant to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs last June. That grant for $750,000 got awarded in August. Here tonight, one, to provide you a timeline of just what's upcoming so you have some idea of when we're going to bid that project out. This was the timeline we initially had been working through. I deleted the first couple lines. So the next step is Dan Cutshaw is working on your IDEM permit. He's going to submit that on December 15th. Our first newspaper ad putting the water project out to bid will be on January 13th. The second ad will run on January 20th, and bids will be opened on February 10th, according to Mr. Cutshaw. I think he sent this to Amy and I both on Friday. The loan closing, I talked to Jared. That's going to be March, April timeline. He said he'll give you guys a better update next time he sees you, but somewhere in that timeline. Construction start date would be somewhere around April or May of next year. So just wanted to give you a brief update on kind of the timeline for that project. I know it's been a little while, and I know Allie was asking for where are we, when are we going out to bid, what's next steps. So that's what's new with that. Big thing, just as a reminder, really for you, Amy, don't sign any construction contracts. So once we get the bids back, even if we get a good bid, we got to hold and send to Okra and get their approval before we sign. So just be on pause until you get an email from me saying we're good to sign contracts. That's the first item I had for you this evening. And the second item is these Okra grants require that you have a certified grant administrator on the project from the very beginning to the end of it. It's a requirement of the funding agency. We typically get our contract signed before we write the grant, but we were just busy and didn't get to it. So you put out a request for proposals. We responded to that saying we wanted to be your grant administrator. We were the only response received. That's not uncommon because typically people know that somebody already helped you write the grant. So you've got our contract for consideration tonight. It will be paid for out of the grant funds. Since Okra pays it out of the grant funds, they set the fee to make sure it's fair and reasonable for the amount of work to take place. So I think you have a copy of that in front of you.
Yeah, I got it right here.
You have it. The only thing not included in that would be, since we don't know our final financing, whether it's going to be SRF, whether it's going to be the Indiana Bond Bank, each agency has different forms you got to fill out to access the money. So that is not included in that contract because we don't know. The work differs depending on where you're getting the funds from. So you will have one small amendment. It's typically around $5,000 to $10,000 come April once we know where the funding's coming from. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
One piece of that contract that Mike and I had been emailing back and forth a little bit is the timing of payment to Kleinpeter for their grant administration services. Typically, the contract, since he's done a lot of work up until this point, he's incurred some costs. So typically, whenever these agreements are signed, there's a payment that is made whenever they're signed. Mike had said that if need be, you could push that payment off until the grant funds are received. If you don't have the funds available right now, to pay that down payment, I can't remember what the 42,000 or something. So we had been emailing back and forth about that with Allie a little bit. So if you want to approve that tonight, I'd suggest that you do that, maybe subject to legal negotiations for us to talk with Allie whenever she's back in the office and figure out what the best timing is for that payment based on funds you have available now.
When does it look like we would get?
I got copies.
Thank you. Excellent, thanks, sir.
Sorry about
When's it look like we get those funds, Mike? You got any
Yeah,
idea?
so what happens is once we bid the project out, assuming we get a good bid, then we submit my contract, the engineer's contract, the construction contract to Okra. Okra reviews everything and says, yes, you're in budget, you've got enough funds to cover everything, and then they do what's called release of funds. At that point is when they release the money. So worst case scenario, if we get a good bid, we're opening bids on February 10th. So then we're just waiting on that loan closing. So if that loan closing is March or April, April or May, we would get that money from Okra. So,
So you're gonna be that long, so you're not gonna be able to eat or anything, because you don't have.
well,
any money?
we're doing all right. You know us. We've worked together quite a few times. We're doing all right. I'm happy to accommodate the town. We've already been working on this for a year without payment. If we need to wait 3 or 4 months, we can. We're flexible, Dave. Luckily for us, this isn't our only project.
Okay,
But if you got the money, I'll certainly be happy to take payment sooner, Dave. And I think that's what we'll talk to Miss Allie about.
yeah, no, I think we're a little short on funds. I don't know whether we got that much to pay out
Sure.
at one time or not.
So I'll
Okay,
work with the town.
so we need to make a motion to,
You could make a motion to approve the agreement subject to legal negotiations and authorize you to sign.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and sign the agreement on, authorize this, pending the legal negotiations through Ally to find out when we can get paid.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes. So you have a signed agreement.
Thank you. Last thing is I've got Dawson Lamb with me today. I know Greg had been kind of representing and coming to the public hearings, representing our firm. Greg is kind of retiring. Once Greg retired, I grabbed him and he worked 20 to 30 hours a week for me for a while. And then I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to retire. Not retire like fully, but just down to 5 or 10 hours. So you still might see Greg some, but if not, you'll have Dawson popping in time to time just to check on things and make sure things are going okay. If you need to get a hold of me though, my cell number, I know there's some new council here. I gave everybody a card, but 812-525-7080. Again, that was 812-525-7080. If you ever get any questions about the project or whatever, you reach out to Dawson or myself and we'll get you taken care of. Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The only other thing I believe we got is to talk about Tim and his project. Unless you have anything right now?
Oh, just my engagement agreement. Since I moved to the new firm, the council will have, and I think Ally had it, but I don't have a copy of it today, so Ally can forward it on to you, but we'll need to have a new engagement agreement signed with my firm Denton's now.
Okay, I've got that, don't
I don't know if she printed it off for you or not. I emailed it.
I? I think that's it right there, isn't it?
That's it. Yep, that's the one. So if anybody has any questions, we can go through this. The retainer fee for next year is the same as it was this year. So I didn't make any changes to the price.
There's a place to sign in here, right?
There is. I think it's on the second page.
Yeah.
It's effective now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And through next year? Or-
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
I think she emailed it to us.
Yeah.
I will make a motion to accept the engagement letter from Denton, Bingham, and Greenbaum.
Another second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Since,
Hmm.
what's next?
Talk about Tim,
Okay.
proposal from the APC for that property. To put those containers in, storage containers.
So I believe I sent you all the revised drawings, you received those. You know, they're now showing the 10-foot buffer zone there on the north side of the property. And have made some changes to the number of units as a result of that. And they're showing a 8-foot high fence along in the front, parallel to Pearl Street, that is running behind where the lift station is. And those are the main revisions. Did I miss anything there?
And we added the fence on that north side too, that wasn't on the drawings.
Oh, yes, and there's a fence now in that 10-foot buffer.
Yeah.
Everything they asked for from the last.
Discussion, guys.
I think he's, yeah, everything you asked for last week, he's done. He's gonna hide it. I mean, it'll be behind the trees and the fence. I think he even talked about didn't you talk about having the, what's the face go down there and do some painting for you?
That was the original thing. We was gonna have a mural on the containers, but
But if you put up the fence.
we're putting up a fence, so we'll be able to see it, so.
We still have all the landscape.
And have landscape out front.
The fence will be behind that stuff.
Of course, I got 2 or 3 concerns. One of them is we never figured out how we're gonna get rid of stormwater because there's no drainage down there to speak of that's gonna be effective for the town. And then, what are they gonna set on?
Well, I'm gonna gravel it all, so it all has drainage. And then I was gonna put tie downs to strap it down, I wanted to strap down the containers.
You're gonna strap them directly to the ground. Are they gonna be set?
Yeah, with them anchors I have.
They're not on pallets. I mean, they're not gonna be sitting on, how are you gonna level them?
Well, the gravel's all gonna be level, then we may have to whatever on the anchors or shim up, but we should be awful close on levelness. But on the drainage, we're gonna go down each one of them miles with a 4-inch drain tile and across the back 8 and go over that hill. And we're planning to go down there and find a tile. If not, we should go get permission to go on out back to the creek. Across the old Asher Combs ground. I don't know who owns it now, but it was Asher Combs, so I'm sure there's a tile right there. Since that's what they did for a living. So.
Just to sort of build on top of that, I want to remind the council that the decision to rezone does not immediately authorize the development. They would still need to get an improvement location permit before actually beginning construction. And part of the approval for that is getting approval from the county drainage board for whatever their drain plan is. So that's something that is typically becomes more detailed after this stage. Usually developments in the rezoning process are at a conceptual level and not quite yet at the detailed construction level.
Marcellus, and where is this in the procedure to, amend the zone map? Has this gone through the plan commission, and has the plan commission
Yes.
given a favorable recommendation?
Yes.
Okay, so you would also need an ordinance to amend.
Right.
To amend the zone map. To officially change the zoning, you have to have an ordinance to amend the zoning map.
And I did prepare something, I don't know if it is. I'm gonna take a look at this and
Sure.
prepare something.
Tim, I can tell you, I'm not against you doing something to make money, but I am against, I'm against rezoning, and I'm against putting those in there, and if I lived down there next to that, I know you said you went around, I've never seen paperwork saying that your neighbors down there said everything was okay.
Well, we had to send letters through area plan to all the neighbors.
Yeah, we sent out letters and we
I've never seen it. I'm just telling you, I've never seen it.
Well, yeah.
But
I have copies of it.
But if I lived down there, I would not want those containers next to me.
That's the thing.
That's me.
Right,
And I just don't think,
but the neighbors had the option to come to that meeting,
And nobody showed up.
say that they were against it, and nobody came. And I have copies of the letters, I have copies of the newspaper thing that we both turned in to Marcellus, so if you want to see it, we've got.
regardless of that, I wouldn't want to live down there next to those containers. And I think you're opening a can of worms that, first of all, we're not showing much respect to I know it's, I could argue that, but you don't show much respect to the dead by putting those in next to the cemetery. That's one thing. And the other thing is that I wouldn't want to live down there next to those, and you're gonna have trouble with drainage. And if you elevate any of those at all, you will have critters living under them, and I guarantee that.
Well, they live in people's sheds all over town.
That's right, they're under mine down there, but I guarantee you're gonna have that kind of a problem down there. And I don't see where you're gonna be able to block off every aspect of two different directions of seeing those setting in there. You just can't do it. That's my opinion on the board. Now, the rest of you got something to say, speak up
I
now.
have an opinion. Number one, Dave, you don't live down there. You live near storage units. There's some right behind your place. That,
Yeah, they're stick built and they don't look bad.
I've seen pictures of these, they look very, very nice.
that's the thing. They are a storage container, but they're made into individual storage units. Tim's not gonna go down there and put in a bunch of rusted out junk. He's gonna keep it looking nice.
They're all one trippers. They're all new.
Everybody down there everybody around him has been sent their letters. He's done his notifications in the newspapers. The people that live there don't seem to have a problem. I mean, I don't see a problem. He's gone, and like Marcelo said, we're not necessarily saying he can put them in. This is basically to change the zone. So he can continue on with his plan. I mean, he's got a ways to go with drainage board. I mean, he's got a drain plan. I don't see where there's a problem.
That's a major thoroughfare in and out of town.
Sure, yeah, it is.
And I just don't think that's where those containers ought to be. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just don't think that's what we need down there. And I can guarantee you that if you had a house down there, that will not increase the property value of that house
The people
And
down
if
there
it does
doing
anything, it'll either hold its own or decrease it to have containers down there next to somebody's house.
There again.
Regardless of what those people said, I can't believe that they didn't think that through before they signed paperwork, but that's up to them.
That's right, it's up to them. You know, our opinions of what's gonna go on down there and stuff aren't what's relevant here. I've got a storage unit in my backyard. My neighbor's got one. A storage container. You know, it's a temporary structure back there and stuff. Does it bother me? No. It's a need be situation. You know, it's still painted like a storage or like a shipping container also. It's not a big deal. You know, he's gonna clean the place up and stuff. He's gonna use the property. He's already bought the property to use. He's not gonna build a house down there. You know, he's done that in town a couple of times, put in houses and stuff in empty lots and made them look pretty nice. It's just another business in town, basically, which I don't see as a bad thing. There again, and that's just my opinion. He's gone through all the neighbors down there. He's gone through all the newspaper article filing and all that. And he's got a drainage plan, which, like Marcella said, has to be approved by the county. You know, they can come back and say, no, it's not gonna work. I don't see a problem.
Is there any way for the zoning to revert back? If his plan isn't approved?
That's contingent.
I mean, you'd have to go through the process of changing it again,
Right.
but I don't know that we can't kind of make it conditional. You know, if you change it, you're changing the zoning. And if you change it from residential to business, you know, that zoning classification generally runs with the land. So, you know, if you were to sell it, it would still be it would now be in a business district, you know, and all other business uses that are allowable in a business district would then be allowed on that land too, unless it was changed back, you know, to residential at some point.
I'll add there that the new ordinance contains provisions that essentially sunset a rezoning if there's no development on the property. Like if you get a rezoning, but then the product doesn't work out, you can't get it together, I think it's 2 years, then the zoning reverts back. I think it's what's.
I'm not as concerned about that as I am the time frame of if we would agree to this, there has to be stipulations on when it's gonna be done. You can't string it out for 10 years to put that in there. It has to be done in a certain time frame that we would have to agree upon to put in there to do that. But I'm just saying that if the rest of the board goes along with it, then that needs to be in there. You can't just give a blanket time and say that it's open
Well,
for business.
we're not approving his business,
We're approving the zoning.
the zoning, yes.
Well, that's the first big step. Once you approve that zoning,
Right, well, I mean, still being, if the drainage board turned him down, he could decide to put something else in there.
we could do that before he puts this in there.
Yeah, good, but that's what I'm saying, we don't have no control over what business he puts in there. We're only
Only the zoning.
the zoning. So.
Well, we've still got time, so we've got until the 1st of February. If we want to table this till next month or the 1st of February, we can do that.
Would it not go back to the county APC after the 1st of February?
Whenever they start, well, but this happens about right at that time.
Sure, right at that transition.
I think that the plan commission portion is done, the way I understand it of this.
Yes.
So it's now in the town council's hands, so nothing would go to the area plan
If we
commission.
don't vote before February 1st.
We have 90 days to vote whenever,
Right.
from whenever it was
From when it was
Gotcha.
certified.
certified.
Gotcha.
When was it certified?
That
It
sounds great.
figures out about the 1st of February.
Okay,
December 8th.
December 8th, December 8th, okay. So-
November 17th. November 7th.
About February 17th.
What are we waiting for though? What else do you need?
Exactly.
You can make a
What?
motion now.
What else do you need?
I make a motion that we approve, Tim and Sean Williams' plan to, to change the zoning at, 418 North Pearl, or 416, North Pearl Street, from residential to business. Anybody second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
They still need to pass an ordinance though, so
Right.
I'll review this ordinance. Thank you, Marcellus, for this draft. I'll review it and I'll circulate it to the council. There are some conditions in here that we can, revisit based on your conversation tonight. And then it'll be before the council at the next meeting. Maybe not next week, but the January meeting.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
I got a phone call or a text about a stop sign down the Market Church.
We already put the temporary up. Go knock it down, please.
I guarantee it.
Well, Market and Church. That's on the north side, right? Have you noticed any of the signs around the car lot are all leaning?
Are they?
A lot of them, yeah. I don't know what we can do about that, but that's their haulers coming in, bringing cars in.
Side swiping that one.
None of them can make the
Van.
turns.
Yep.
So whatever's on those corners is getting kind of pushed over and wiped out. So I don't know.
One of
what
the
exactly
bars,
we can do
one of
about
the
it.
bars is leaning too down there by the elevator.
On the corner.
Yeah, somebody's going around there with a big truck and probably got up against that too.
The Dickersons. There's no cars gonna knock one of the ballers down.
No, but one of them is leaning, and it's the one that's down there close to the tile that's come across there. And it could probably be pulled back and tamped in at some point on the ground.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is, Earl, I don't know if this is you guys or the state, but the speed limit sign flashing as you come into town from the school zone is flashing at the birds right now.
Yep, that's the state. That's not.
We've already talked to the state about it.
No about that.
They've been made aware of it.
Oh, but, yeah. So,
Good. Yep. That's it, folks. Meeting is over. I don't know what we got to send besides these things you talked about. Yeah, I got something here for that.
What's new in your world?
What's it called? Building inspector.
They said
Can
we're
I
gonna
have
take
your
that.
email address?
Okay.
Would you prefer to contact that way or?
Yeah, I'll write it down for you.
Before I have to put them back.
Oh, well, they said they got trim that they could cut down.
I don't have a card yet.
Okay.
Am I allowed
Did they?
to?
Yeah, just around the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they would have
I don't
cut
know how all the stipulations were. Contacting our town.
Yes, you are allowed to email me. I mean, You can ask Grumpy, but
Am I allowed to email our town lawyer?
Yes.
want
Just
a
do not
selfie of
make
me.
it a habit.
Don't make it happen.
Cream might even want this too, just to say hi to you.
yeah, I know. I just texted Green the other day.
What do you say you have?
I miss her.
We just
I got this
We have a
contract here that I need to sign for the
Yes.
building inspector
But,
that we're gonna
yeah,
use.
town, I read a little bit
Whatever
about
it
the
is.
strategy, but I would just.
And we're gonna see it.
Yeah.
We're interested in like.
Yeah, we
We
did.
need to get that plan out and revisit it.
No,
because
That's what, 'cause I have a copy of it, I think it's some page missing.
It's a big, and it's a big plan
Yeah,
too.
so I don't know if you, I don't want this in July,
Yeah,
so I don't know
yeah.
exactly.
So you're catching up.
If there's already plans in, I don't think there already, there's really nothing, so it's just all of us, I'm assuming. Maintenance and updating, so actually getting the plans to do that, 'cause we're interested in starting that next year.
Yeah.
It's my goal. So mainly so I can push stores around a little easier.
Yes. That's important. Do you want to stop this? Just this?
Well,
Well,
make a motion. That just needs signed. We don't have to do anything with that.
Yeah, is there anything else on here further than signing
Is
that?
that the building inspector one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you just need to sign it. We're gonna change the date, the effective date on here to October 6th instead of October 1st, because the inspector said he didn't really do much work that first week of October, so he recommended the payment start the 2nd of October. So I'm just gonna make this change there, and then Grumpy just initial right there,
I
whenever you
didn't do
sign.
it, you gotta initial it.
Well, you can, you're the important one to sign this here.
If they marked them with
I didn't
orange.
make any marks on it, you did.
We found a tree on our yard, like an orange dot, and their power lines close to the.
Oh, really?
If they want to, they can take the whole thing down. Because I know our neighbor's got one that grows up around the house, and they've got an orange dot.
Where are you at?
House Street.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Well, that's done.
That's done. Yep, I'm gonna give this back to you, Jeff. Do you want to get his next time you see him? Just get his,
Yeah,
initials.
Okay, we can close the meeting, right?
I'll make the motion to close the meeting at 7:57.
There, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody wants to keep the meeting open. Okay, shut it off.
I have.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all close.